Stream it or skip it, Michael Jackson, The Verdict, the new documentary on Netflix. Grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's go back. Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Gen X Unfiltered, the podcast.
What's up, everybody?
Yo.
Steve, Eric, hi.
How you guys doing?
How's everybody doing?
Good. I'm good.
Okay,
That was very unsure.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm good. I'm good here.
I'm wonderful. I'm
This is fine. I'm fine.
It's like the dumpster or the dog with the fire.
dog with
The
fire
cartoon dog in
kitchen,
the living room.
Yeah, I'm fine. Everything's fine. It's
Yeah.
good. Fine. I'm
This is
fine.
fine.
That thing that means more and more relatable. You know, like so many different things going on right now.
It does. I mean, like I said, we're, things in the world, but also being the age we are in real life, and
That's
everything's
right.
just
So we've
kind of
been a little MIA in the last couple of weeks, but we are back.
on track. This is
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Life's been lifing, but we're back for at least a few.
At the very least, we have 2 videos.
That's right.
right.
We're doing our best, guys. We promise. And thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you,
So today we are going to talk about Michael Jackson, The Verdict, which is on Netflix. Again, we're just going to say right off the top that we are simply talking about our opinions and what we thought watching it. This isn't a deep dive, factual, biographical explanation on the documentary. We're just talking to you as friends on what our thoughts are on the documentary.
Yeah, whether or not you guys should stream it or skip it.
Exactly.
So it's a 3-part documentary called Michael Jackson, The Verdict. It was released in 2026, the beginning of June. The series revisits one of the most sensational celebrity trials in history, the 2005 criminal case against Michael Jackson. So this documentary is a little different because it doesn't focus very much on anything. It doesn't. It just focuses on the allegations and the verdict and all that kind of stuff. You probably remember if you're listening to this podcast. There's interviews with prosecutors, defense attorneys, journalists, former employees, members of the jury. It reconstructs what happens inside the Santa Maria courthouse and examines why this case still sparks debate more than 20 years later. We do want to say right off the top, you guys know, but we just want to put this little disclaimer. This is talking about child abuse allegations. So, please trigger warning. If it's too much for you, skip out. Join us for the next episode. We totally understand.
Yeah, there's definitely a heavy topic in this documentary.
So it starts off Michael Jackson before the trial. It doesn't go way back in history. It just kind of talks about a few of the little things. It talks about, I'm just going to read the little blurb. It explains it better than I can.
Okay.
By the early 2000s, Michael Jackson had already become one of the most famous entertainers in history. Albums like Thriller, Bad and Dangerous had made him a global superstar. But according to the documentary, his eccentric lifestyle and his fondness for spending time with children had caused concern for years. The series revisits the 1993 allegations involving Jordan Chandler. Prosecutors Ron Zonin explains that although the criminal investigation ended without charges, many investigators believe the case left unresolved questions. It also talks about the civil lawsuit for millions of dollars in 1994. It's to be noted that Jackson's always maintained his innocence and insisted the settlement was intended to avoid years of litigation. It is said that the 1993 allegations permanently changed public perception of Michael Jackson.
100%. I kind of forgot that there was this the first one that he had settled, and there was the second one, which was the trial
Actually, the
that
trial.
we saw
Yeah,
with the videos. I kind of forgot that there was the 2 different allegations.
Yeah.
And I think everybody thought Michael Jackson was weird.
Yeah.
I'm going to say,
For sure.
and then when that first trial or the first allegations came out and the lawsuit and stuff, it just kind of, I think it confirmed what a lot of people.
Yeah.
Everyone thought this guy is really weird.
And there was
that's why
Yeah.
there was something going on here.
Exactly.
Now it explained
And
a lot of this stuff.
before this stuff, there's some oddities that people kind of clued into that were strange with Michael Jackson beforehand, like him sleeping in an oxygen chamber and like him having the Elephant Man bones.
Yeah,
And some weird things were like, this is just kind of weird behavior.
Well, the fact that he built like an amusement park in his house.
I
Like,
think
you know,
that
it's like,
exactly.
Who does that?
Yeah.
Let's just take a second and go a little bit back. I mean, none of us are historians on Michael Jackson.
No.
So we're going to state
no.
that clearly.
No.
No.
We're not historians on Michael Jackson. We just sort of know what we've read or heard or seen and whatever. But I mean, it doesn't sort of take a rocket scientist to figure out that obviously Michael Jackson did not have the greatest childhood. And I never say things like this are an excuse for bad behavior, but it can explain a lot of potentially why he was quote unquote weird, eccentric. I think we kind of had a brief discussion before this started, and we kind of are like, he was, I think, permanently like a 10-year-old kid.
Yeah. It's like he was stuck in. I know they've said this before, that when people become like really famous, you kind of become like locked at that age.
Yeah.
And there's all the allegations. I don't know enough about it, but whether child abuse for as a kid, their dad
was very
definitely didn't spare the rod to spare the child. Like
verbally and physically. From
you see
the accounts that we've
everything you've seen and here is like
when
when the Jackson 5, before they were the Jackson 5 and they were practicing their Indiana in their living room, So I think it always just felt like he was just trying to recapture that lost youth. Is how he lived his life, is what it seemed like.
I think he just had, and please, I know I've said this before, but I just want everybody listening to understand that this in no way defends or lets him off the hook of any inappropriate behavior he may or may not have done. We have to remember, I mean, this isn't a big secret. We all know he was acquitted of the charges. So he's never been formally convicted of child abuse. Okay.
That's something that's important to remember as well, right?
Right. So he's not a convicted child abuser. Doesn't mean it didn't happen, but I'm just saying by the court of law, that's the case. And I don't want anybody to misinterpret anything any one of us says.
No, exactly.
To think that any behavior is good, bad, whatever.
No.
But I think it's just, I don't, and that's not an excuse, but I just don't think in a lot of cases he had the comprehension because he got stunted at some age or the abuse he endured. He never had the comprehension to understand that as a 40-year-old adult male, things were just not appropriate.
You were not friends with 10-year-old boys.
Yeah.
No.
And that's always what it felt like, is he was just trying to be friends with all these people. And it's like, you're not a child yourself. Like, you can't be hanging out and playing with kids. Like, that's not, you're a grown-ass man.
It's not appropriate behavior.
No,
and I'm going to come out right out and say it because it's just my opinion. I'm going to come out right out and say it. Do I think that Michael Jackson lived his life intentionally grooming children? I don't think so. Intentional being the key word. Do I think that he intentionally went out of his way to harm children? I don't think his intentions, again, based on his comprehension of his brain, I don't think he just understood that it wasn't okay.
Well, you watch that, and I'm sure you're going to get into it, but I mean, I don't want to skip ahead here.
We can go jump into it.
But he did that interview with Martin Bashir, which kind of...
Let me just give a little brief, and then you can talk, because I know what you're going to say. It's when we were watching this, we all kind of said the same thing. And again, there's
oh shit moments.
Yeah. So in 2003, British journalist Martin Bashir released Living with Michael Jackson. If you were anywhere of, let's just say, over the age of 12 or 10, you saw this interview or heard about it.
It was a big deal when it came out.
Oh, it was huge. Yeah.
In the documentary, Michael openly discussed sharing his bedroom with children and appeared along 13-year-old cancer survivor Gavin Arvizo. According to the verdict, many people inside Jackson's camp later felt betrayed by Bashir, believing his documentary painted Michael in the worst possible light. Several former associates interviewed for the Netflix series claim Michael Jackson believed Bashir had manipulated footage and omitted positive moments. Defense attorney Mark Argarios argues that the Bashir documentary ignited a media firestorm and helped set the stage for what followed. Prosecutor Ron Zonin says investigators would have been negligent if they had ignored the concerns raised by the program. The documentary emphasizes that both sides viewed Bashir's documentary very differently. So that we were watching this, and I don't know which one of us mentioned it, but we're all kind of like, yeah. Again, we're not experts, but the fact that because they show those clips in the Netflix documentary, Michael Jackson's sitting there openly holding a 13-year-old boy's hand and having him have his head on his shoulder, and comforting him however you look, inappropriate or not.
Yeah.
And then also openly talking about how he shares a bed with these kids.
They have sleepovers and stuff.
But in my mind, I'm like, if you're doing that to be bad to these kids, are you really going to sit there and talk about it like that? He talked about it with such this is just what I'm doing. I'm helping. This kid has cancer. His family doesn't have a lot of money. I'm trying to make him have the best life.
He's talking about it like they're they're both 13-year-old boys having a sleepover together. It's how he's trying to portray it.
Yeah.
But he's a 40-something-year-old grown-ass man.
It's inappropriate, 100%.
100. It's completely inappropriate. But like I said, the impression is that Michael Jackson's looking at it as it's two friends having a sleep like we would have done when we were 12 years old, having everybody sleeping over at a friend's house. Yeah. But it's a 40-year-old multi-millionaire pop star.
It's not appropriate.
And it's completely inappropriate.
It's so many weird layers here because I think Michael Jackson at some point in time disassociated and lost touch with reality.
Yeah, 100%.
I think. And some people, I've seen in the documentaries about Michael Jackson and stuff, and some people say it happened after the Pepsi commercial where his hair caught fire.
I heard that.
And he got addicted to pain medications and stuff.
Yeah.
And he sort of like whatever grounding he had, he lost at that point.
Yeah.
And he got addicted to drugs, went into a hole.
Because I'd be curious.
His grasp on reality really changed.
Well, I'd be curious, and I don't know, but like, did Neverland exist before that, or was it? You know what I mean?
I don't think it did.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is that then? Did he?
Because that was like 84, 85.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So then it became this like.
Yeah.
You know, because it really feels like he's acting like again there are a couple of 12-year-old boys hanging out together.
Because if you made a really good point, right? Like if he's doing something wrong
to groom these children,
he knows it. He's not going to display it publicly for people to see.
It would be like, oh my God, I never do that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Oh, here comes their poster again.
Sorry, not to make light of a serious topic, but. And that's sort of what, again, like, we don't understand the minds of people and why they do or don't do what they're doing and what their intentions are. But just, like, looking at it, it's like if somebody, I mean, some people could argue that while he was doing that, so it's almost like, you know, it's in front of your eyes, but people won't believe it, right? I just don't think, and I don't know what the word is, I don't want to say smart, but I just don't think he was cognitively that...
Calculated?
Yeah, maybe that's
I just don't think that he was, and... Again, completely inappropriate to be sharing a bed with, especially very vulnerable 13-year-old boys. It's not saying, appropriate.
Like, you know, I don't think he understood
the
power balance between just the fact that it's a grown man and a child.
Yeah. But
this is Michael
Jackson.
Michael Jackson, the world's undoubtedly the world's biggest pop star.
Yeah.
More, you know, rich beyond anyone's wildest dreams, on top of being an adult. So like the power balance between these two. Like, yeah, it was completely inappropriate.
Yeah. I really feel like Michael Jackson could never really function as an adult.
No.
And I think he needed some sort of handlers.
He did.
Someone to keep him out of situations where he was clearly being inappropriate.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know the documentary touched on things where, you know, he showed pornographic material to a young child. Again, extremely inappropriate.
Yeah.
But I just can't, I can't get to the place where I believe he was doing it to be evil and groom the children. I just can't get there based on what I've seen his actions and how he taught. Like, I don't know. And I could be very, very wrong. He could have been the biggest manipulator of all time. I don't know.
And that's, I mean, it's so hard to say for sure. It's just,
But there's a reason why he was acquitted, right? Like he wasn't.
Yeah.
So this is where we're going to get into another really difficult part of the documentary because we're going to be talking about.
It's just so complicated.
Well, but wait, it's going to get more complicated, right?
Yeah.
Because so this 13-year-old boy becomes the victim of allegations. However.
I was just saying, but yes. So in the Martin Bashir documentary, when Michael Jackson is being interviewed with, and there's a 13-year-old boy with them that's kind of leaning on Michael Jackson's head. It's that boy
that makes the accusations
that then becomes the lawsuit with the trial that we all saw in the news.
However, again, we don't know. This is just what we're watching this documentary. They talk a little bit about this boys, and this child is a victim. There's no he's a victim.
Yeah, he's a kid.
He's a victim.
Yeah.
But it gets even more complicated with, like, you know, I never, ever, ever don't want to believe a victim, especially a child of child abuse.
Sure.
I never don't want to believe them, and I never will not believe them. But, you know, there was some suspicious stuff with his family because his mom, they were not wealthy. They needed money. He was having cancer treatments.
Yeah.
He was, you know, the mom you know, say what you want, but the mom allowed this boy to be. I mean, she probably was like, "It's Michael Jackson. He's fine. That's great."
This is another layer. I'm still trying to wrap my head, right?
It's hard
because in '93, if you know he's been accused,
he's already been
molesting,
accused.
right?
Yeah.
What parent in their right mind is going to leave them their kid with Michael Jackson overnight?
Well, that's the thing. If this is that's the thing. It's already come out that he has been accused of this stuff, and there's been some sort of behind the scenes payment, whatever.
Yeah.
Why would you ever let your children go there again?
Let's just say this. Let's just say that the hardcore Michael Jackson supporters, like the ones that are in his corner and he can do no wrong and does no wrong.
Yeah.
Their take on this is that the mom set the child up to, however nefarious it is, but put it in this position where they could sue Michael Jackson or charge him and get a whole bunch of money from him.
Well, because it comes out, I don't know if it's further, they had accused the mom was arrested for something of shoplifting.
Yeah.
And accused the security guards of sexual assault.
Yes.
To try, and then so we were like, you know, they have a history of
lying,
of grifting almost.
Yeah, because it came out. I think that all kind of fell. Or no, did she get? I think they got paid off to. That became a something between them, and it was a big. I can't remember what.
Was it Kmart?
I can't remember what store it was, but it was one of the big chains. But they ended up settling out of court.
Yeah, just to like push them up.
Yeah, but she, you know, was arrested for shoplifting and then accused that they had assaulted her.
Now,
yeah,
again.
So she was in the wrong to start. That she flipped the script.
Yeah, so it's like, oh wait, you.
In all these scenarios, I know we're repeating ourselves, but I want to make it abundantly clear. This 13-year-old boy is a victim. Whether he lied or didn't lie, it was because he was being influenced by somebody to do that. He's a victim at the end of the day. It's nothing of this is his fault.
No, absolutely,
no, absolutely not. No, because the parents going to right from the get go, like you're never going to Neverland Ranch to what are you taught? Never, no.
Whether he was manipulated by like Michael Jackson or his own mom,
he wasn't protected.
Exactly, he wasn't protected. He was a victim.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna read about the Arvizo family as well, just so people, because it makes more sense what we're talking about. This is just, and as we're talking, like watching it, it was confusing, but as we're talking about, I think it's so difficult because each of us struggle like ethically and morally about like we don't want to not believe a kid, but like is this really what happened? And like,
well, there's again nothing
so
is ever black and white.
It isn't,
right? That's the problem. It's a whole lot of gray.
So one of the most fascinating sections of the verdict focuses on Gavin Arvizo and his family. Gavin had Gavin had survived cancer and first met Michael through charity work. According to prosecutors, Michael and Gavin developed a close relationship. However, after the Bashir documentary aired, investigators alleged that Michael and members of his staff worked to keep the family isolated at Neverland Ranch and attempted to control their movements. The prosecution argued that alcohol was supplied to Gavin and that efforts were made to prevent the family from speaking publicly. But the defense painted a very different picture. Mark Gregarios argued that the Arvizo family had a history of making false claims and were motivated by money. The documentary features former employees and legal experts who discuss inconsistencies in witness testimony. Jurors interviewed for the series describe how credibility became one of the most important issues in the entire case. And that's the thing, right? Like, Mark Gregarios had lots of good arguments for why these jurors should doubt this family, and I'm going to say the mother's motives.
The kids are kids. It
doesn't matter.
They're just doing, whatever. Yeah.
But and like Steve said, that example with the shop, there's a pattern of credibility, and that's what happens in a court of law. You look at credibility and the pattern of
past actions and stuff. And
I didn't lie this time. Yeah, but you lied that. So why? You know what I mean? Like it's hard.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
No, and that's what lawyers do. It's not so much to disprove everything, but just to discredit this person and just to shed. Again, it's
the shadow of doubt.
Yeah.
Now there is a segment in the Netflix documentary where they show the child's police interview, clips of it, bits of it, and I mean, this child is saying that Michael Jackson did bad things to him.
And his brother also was there, right? His brother said he wasn't, but saw things too.
Saw things.
His other brother said he saw things.
Again, I will never not believe a child, but it's hard because I mean, like, is this what happened? Is this what he believes happened because he was influenced that it happened that way? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, again, according to the court of law, that didn't happen.
But it's always that weird thing because it's like the bottom line is he didn't go to jail for it. He's found not guilty. So yeah, it's just hard because again, because he was such a eccentric,
Yeah.
strange guy, Michael Jackson. He really was.
He was odd.
So it makes it so much harder to like, sort of like what was his intention? Because he clearly like
Yeah.
loved spending time with children,
Yeah.
and that is not normal for
No.
It's not.
40-year-old whatever
45-year-old
man.
man.
To
Yeah.
the
it was.
extent that he did. Like, he built a whole
But that,
amusement park for children.
Exactly. He had like a zoo in his front yard and stuff. And it's like,
Yeah,
how much of that was
zoo.
for him versus
Yeah.
for kids? And,
they showed photos of his bedroom and stuff, and I found it very creepy.
It
yeah.
is.
Like his
Oh, he had
bedroom.
weird. Yeah.
He had weird, a lot of weird dolls and stuff in there.
Yeah.
And I just found it really creepy to look at. I'm like, this is weird, right? But
Yeah.
yeah.
But that doesn't make you a predator per se,
But that's
right?
the
So
whole.
it's
That's
just like,
and that's the double. Just because you're weird doesn't mean that you're out there assaulting
yeah.
anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it makes it more easy to believe because they are so eccentric and
Yes.
strange. As like, oh, that makes total. Because again, like,
Well,
what kind of grown man hangs out with children?
in
No
in
one.
Canada, that's where we're from. For those listening, we had a case like that years ago where
Yeah.
there was a young girl that got murdered, and they couldn't figure out who it was, and they ended up thinking it was the neighbor who was quote unquote
I
eccentric.
thought it was weird
he
because
was weird.
he played the flute or something. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this guy's weird. He plays.
So
the
he must have done it.
Yeah,
So is that
he went to
real guy?
jail for
He
it.
went to jail. It's this whole big kid.
Yeah.
If I could
Yeah.
remember the name.
It
what's
was
the name?
no, it
Google
wasn't.
it. I can't remember the name though. I'm getting too
Jessup was the
Christine Jessup.
Christian
Oh,
Jessup. Yeah,
no.
So Google it because it's a whole thing. And
I'm
he
trying to
went
remember
to
the
jail.
guy's name, but he went to jail for like a long
Was
time.
that
Yeah,
the Guy Palmeringa?
that was it.
Guy
Guy
Palmeringa.
Palmeringa, yeah, but they
Yeah.
thought because he played the flute or something, it's like, oh, this guy's weird.
Yeah.
So that's even more layers of confusion
Yeah.
because, but then again, right? So on the opposite side, a year earlier, he just paid a whole bunch of money to a family who said he did this.
Yeah.
And in the eyes of most people, that's admitting guilt.
Well,
Absolutely.
for most,
Yeah.
doesn't come included. That
It-
generally, when there's smoke, there's
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
If you really
You pay
didn't
these
do
people
it, why
off.
wouldn't
Piss
you
people
fight
off.
it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Stand up for yourself. Fight.
If
fight
somebody
this.
accused me of that, you better be damn sure I
Yeah.
would never, and it didn't happen. There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no.
Whereas I think, and sort of what Michael was, I know I didn't do it.
I
This
have
is
the
gonna,
money.
It's going to cost me
Yeah.
10 years and really X amount of dollars to go through legally. If they're going to take this lump sum, then
Yeah.
just end it.
All right. So then we had the raid on Neverland in November 2003. Damn, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Santa Barbara County investigators raided Neverland Ranch. The documentary includes photographs and testimony describing what authorities found. Prosecutors believe they had enough evidence to pursue charges. Michael Jackson was arrested and later released on $3 million bail. One of the most memorable images shown in the documentary is Jackson standing on top of the SUV, waving to fans after his release. Journalists interviewed in the series say that moment became symbolic of the strained mix of celebrity culture and criminal justice surrounding the case. Diane Diamond, I love that name, recalls the intense media circus with helicopters, reporters, and devoted fans gathering daily. And that's the other layer, the celebrity status. And we're not just talking to celebrity status. He was like the Taylor Swift.
That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Like-
He wasn't just famous. He was like
was
mega famous. yeah.
Worldwide.
He was
Yeah.
the Taylor
Yeah.
Swift of like the
Yeah.
90s. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah,
he was the
yeah.
most recognizable person on the planet, I have to
Yeah. Oh,
imagine.
no, by far. Michael Jackson was like next level famous. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And that was one of the things I remember seeing interviewed like Macaulay Culkin and saying, because he was up in this.
Yeah.
Did he testify?
Yeah.
He did, right? Yeah.
yeah.
But he kind of brought that up. Like when we hear someone talk about a bedroom, we're thinking like my room, your room, or whatever. Like it's just a regular.
a 10 by 10 room.
But
or
they're like
something.
Michael Jackson's bedroom was like a 2-story, like
Yeah.
Apartment.
3,000 square foot like home.
Yeah.
So it's a weird thing too, where you,
And Michael Jackson's bed isn't just like a regular.
yeah, like his whole
Like,
room, like, and they sort of
bed.
said that Macaulay Culkin said that was the one place where like he could be
The kid.
out of the,
Oh,
well, not
yeah.
that, but he could
Oh,
be
Michael
He
Jackson.
could be
Yeah.
on his
himself,
own. It's
yeah.
the only place he had his own personal space.
Yeah.
So like his bedroom wasn't just like a room; it was like a house.
Yeah.
So it's always kind of weird to think of that stuff too, where it's like
Yeah.
we're thinking this like little tiny space where it's like, oh no, this was like a 2-story
Yeah.
like apartment. But they said like this is the only place where like he could
I'm going to ask a question.
be away from anybody.
I'm going to ask a question for a discussion point. Did Michael's celebrity status affect the investigation, whether negatively?
Oh, I'm sure it
actively?
did. I had to have.
Do you think
You
that
get people that even they're
Well-
going to have officers that are going to be starstruck or like just
Or the
curious
opposite,
of
yeah.
like whatever, or
Do-
also being like, yeah,
do you think that it would have do you think that this trial where he actually went to court and stuff would have been different if he hadn't had that previous thing come out? Do you think people would have been more like, oh my God, this is no way can Michael Jackson. I mean, let's be real.
No.
He had his supporters.
For a lot of people, I think what happened in 2003 solidified what people thought in 1993.
Yeah.
They're like, look, this is twice now.
Yeah.
So clearly he's up to no good here.
Yeah. But I think even if they hadn't had that first payoff in 93, it would have just been the same
thing.
Yeah. I don't think people were like, oh my God, Michael Jackson doing something. No way. Because he was such a strange guy.
Yeah, he was.
That people were just kind of, what's going on? Like, there's something weird here. Something's going on. Then, there we go. I knew it. There's something weird here.
You know what I feel like when I think of Michael Jackson?
Nope.
No, I'm just saying, like, as Michael Jackson, the person, I mean, he's one of the greatest artists of all time. That's not debatable. But, like, I just feel sadness.
Oh, I think he was this very lonely guy.
I just feel sadness for him.
Yeah,
like isolated and never content.
From the year, I think from like the age of like what, like how old was he in the Jackson 5? Like 9, 10?
9 years old.
From like 9 years old until like at 9 years old, he became the meal ticket for a whole bunch of people, and it never stopped till the day he died.
No.
Yeah.
And he had people taking advantage of him, whether it was his own family, friends, hangers on.
And he just didn't never could find the people that could keep him on course. I mean, it's like anything. When you have enough money, you're going to find people. He wanted people to say yes to him, and he found those people.
Whole, like, we don't want to, but his whole passing away, like, he had people that were willing to inject him to put him to sleep every night and shit like that. Yeah. Like, it was not.
No.
Like, it was, and even just look at him, like, not, but like,
he wanted to change his whole appearance.
Like his nose in one of those videos, it looks like it's falling apart. Like with the plastic surgery he had and all this stuff.
He literally wanted to be somebody else.
No one would ever say no to him.
No.
Because he had the money. And if he'd
find someone to say yes.
It reminds me of that joke I saw with Tom Cruise. They were talking about with Matt Damon, talking about one of the stunts that Tom Cruise wanted to do, one of the Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah.
And he's just telling Matt Damon was asking how they did it. He's like, yeah, I'm going to do this and this. So I talked to my stunt expert. Guy's like, no way, Tom, we can't do that. He's like, so I got another stunt expert.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that's it. Someone says no, okay, I'll find the next guy.
Well, same thing happened with Matthew Perry. He found somebody to give him the pills that ultimately killed him.
Exactly. You got enough money, someone's going to do it for you. So, yeah.
Okay, so jury selection begins in January 2005. According to the documentary, finding impartial jurors proved difficult because Michael Jackson's fame was so enormous.
Yeah, oh God, yeah.
The trial itself lasted almost 5. Oh my gosh, I missed that part. It was 5 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow.
Jurors later revealed that they understood they were participating in history. Many said they felt tremendous pressure because they knew whatever verdict they reached would be scrutinized around the world. Without cameras in the courtroom, artist sketches became iconic images of the proceedings. Reporters describe hundreds of media members descending on Santa Maria, turning the town into an international, news center. Yeah, I mean, this whole entire court thing was just, I mean, the sensationalized.
Well, it's going to be a circus. They're probably the best thing to do was not have it televised.
As
much as imagine they did. Well, look at the whole, like with the OJ trial
Simpson.
and how much they say
they probably learned from that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
100%.
Because actually, some of the lawyers were the same, weren't they? I recognize Mark Gary. I recognize that guy's name. Like was he in the OJ trial?
I don't think so, but he does a lot of. He did like the Scott Peterson.
Oh, maybe that's okay. But I was like, I definitely recognize that guy's name from some other.
Yeah,
trial
but here's a question: can anyone truly be unbiased in a case involving Michael Jackson? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think anybody could not know who Michael Jackson was on some level.
No,
yeah. And hear the stories.
And I don't think you can be unbiased in any trial, regardless of. Once you start to hear things, you're going to be like, this person's this or that. Like you can be somewhat unbiased, but you're going to have some. Yeah. Everyone has preconceived notions. It's going to be 10 times worse because of Michael Jackson, because you know this,
Well, think about it this way. Like, I'm a true crime junkie, so I watch live trials on TV. You watch the prosecution, and you're like, oh my God, this person did this. Then you hear the defense go up, and you're like, holy shit, maybe this person didn't do this.
No, exactly.
Right? So, and then the whole thing is you take all of that information, put it in the pile in your brain and be like, okay.
Well, not even that, but you're looking at the person right there. It's like, that person can do that. Or yes, that person could. Like, you just make assumptions looking at people.
Imagine sitting there and be like, we're Michael Jackson's fates in our hands. Like, hell. Like,
and like, what did the whole thing where he jumped up on top of the SUV, right? Like, he kind of said, like, what do guilty people do when they come to this courthouse, right? They cover their faces up and try and hide. He's like, I'm not guilty, so I'm going to walk out and
magnanimous.
I jumped on top of the, when I made bail, I jumped up on the top of the SUV and waved to everyone because I'm not guilty. I'm not ashamed. I did nothing wrong here.
Yeah.
So here's a little bit about the prosecution's case. The prosecutor, Tom Sneeden, had pursued Michael Jackson for years. The documentary portrays Sneeden as someone who firmly believed children had been victimized. Ron Zonin explains that prosecutors believed Gavin Arvizo's account and felt the evidence justified bringing charges. Witnesses described alleged incidents of molestation, efforts to keep the Arvizo family under control. The prosecution also introduced evidence concerning adult magazines and alcohol. According to the documentary, prosecutors hoped the overall pattern of behavior would persuade jurors. Some legal analysts interviewed in the series questioned whether enough physical evidence existed. I mean, let's be real. Like, if you're a prosecutor, and it's one of those weird things, right? Do you know something's not right? Of course.
Like there's smoke. There's lots of smoke.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's,
what exactly is it? Is it exactly what we think? Is it inappropriate but not enough to actually like convict somebody of it? Yeah. Is it actually what we think it is? Like, I mean, we said this before. You guys said it. I mean, you can't say Michael Jackson's name at any era of his, especially like say like starting in the 90s, any era of his career where you're like, oh, he's weird with kids. That's just what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
and he never hid it. That's why people thought it, because he didn't hide it.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Right?
I mean, one of his clothes was hanging out with Macaulay Culkin and stuff. Like I said, Michael Jackson, I think he acted and lived his life as a 13-year-old boy. He truly, I thought, whether he did it on purpose or not, but he lived his life as what a 13-year-old rich kid would do.
He was surrounding himself with like kids as soon as like Emmanuel Lewis, like the
That's
Webster.
true. Yeah, even Webster. Yeah.
Back in when
like
Thriller
the 80s. Yeah, like I said,
early 80s.
Yeah, like I said, Michael Jackson lived his life. Look at his house. He lived his life as if you were a 13-year-old boy with infinite wealth.
Yeah. Here's a question.
No one to tell you no. That's what Michael Jackson lived his life as.
Exactly. Like Neverland was the perfect name for it, right? Well, it's the place where boys never grow up.
Yeah, he was Peter Pan. He truly thought he was a kid.
Yeah.
I do have a question though. And okay, so Michael Jackson spent all of his time around children, right? He built his house to welcome children. He was out, walking the streets with children. He did an interview with a child. He loved children, right? Good, bad, whatever. All those children he was around, and this is just a I don't know question. All those children he was around, and if he was the predator that a lot of people think he is, wouldn't there be more than these two children?
That is a very good point. Yes, you think there would be
a lot more
multiple children.
And I get some wouldn't want to come forward, but out of all the children, some would.
Well, and especially once that once that ball gets rolling, then
Because I'm just going to make a bold statement, and I'm just going to say, like, I feel like if you're a predator, you're not just like, well, I'm going to be a predator to this child, but this one's okay. You're going to you're going to take advantage of whatever situation you can.
Well, or even if you do grooming and you're trying to find certain victims, it would still be like over the course of X amount of years, there would be multiple victims, you would think. I would think.
I think, as far as I know, like Macaulay Culkin's never accused him of anything.
Macaulay testified was like, no, like never anything. We hung out. They were like, again, they hung out like a bunch of 12-year-old boys, like would sleep over and hang out and play video games and eat pizza and shit.
For what's worth, Corey Feldman said the same thing, right?
Yeah,
like,
Corey Feldman.
And I mean, he's accused people of doing things to him, but not Michael Jackson.
No, and that's true. Actually, a good example. Yeah, Corey Feldman, who has openly accused
other celebrities.
Other celebrities.
Yes, but never Michael.
No.
But there was even that one guy in here who was not a celebrity, but was just a Make-A-Wish kid or something of that nature. Who again said the same thing. Nothing ever.
Yeah.
Again, they just hung out like it's so weird.
Yeah.
But they hung out and played like
the kids. Yeah.
Like it's such a weird thing, but that's sort of what they did.
Yeah.
And one of the toughest things is, like, especially with something like child abuse or children as victims, like whether you are 100% completely innocent and wrongly accused and yada yada, like that stigma is just never going away.
No, and that's the thing. I mean, and they sort of said, and Michael, this ruined his good. Like
if you want to look at his career is never the same after 93.
No, he never recovered. Like he never got past this, and it's never.
No,
he's always been associated with this stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
He became more of a spectacle than an artist.
Yeah. It was kind of like a.
So now the defense strikes back. I'm not going to say their names because I don't want to butcher them, but his defense lawyers. The documentary spends considerable time highlighting their courtroom skills. Former juries repeatedly praise his cross-examinations. Thomas, one of the lawyers, I'm just going to say his first name, aggressively challenged inconsistencies in witness testimony and argued that the Arvizo family had changed timelines and stories. And I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to say Arvizo family. I'm going to say the adults in the family. I just don't want it to be the child involved because it had nothing to do with him. Celebrity witnesses included Macaulay Culkin and Jay Leno testified for the defense. Culkin denied that Michael had ever abused him. The defense maintained that Jackson was eccentric but innocent. Several jurors interviewed in the documentary admit they began questioning the prosecution's witness after lengthy cross-examinations. I think also, too, like Jay Leno, right? He's an adult.
Yeah.
And especially to put yourself out there and your name in there on child victim crime to say, no, I'm going to testify for him because I believe that much that he isn't this person. That's bold.
Yeah.
Because you don't ever really know, right?
No.
And that's saying a lot that you're willing to
tie your name to that.
That ship,
And some people might say that Michael Jackson just had really good, like people say OJ, he had the money to just get really good lawyers that could find loopholes and get shit. And, good lawyers do make a difference.
No,
100%.
absolutely they do. But, I mean...
You can't change evidence, though.
That's the thing. If you, I mean, don't want to get it, but if you look at there was a whole lot of evidence in the OJ case that suggested that, hey, maybe the jury got the wrong verdict here.
Yeah. And let's be clear.
There was not any, other than it was... This is why it's so hard. It was
a 13-year-old
boy. Two accounts.
Exactly.
There was no proof.
It's he said, she said, right?
Yeah, there was no physical evidence.
Which again, I just thought of this too. Like again, if his whole entire house was to be a house for children that were at all the time and multiple children lived there with their parents and they were always there, there would have been a whole bunch of evidence. Like I'm not going to be rude and I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm like, look at P. Diddy, all the evidence they had on him, that weird stuff was, there would have been evidence. There would have been bottles of things and there would have been stuff that would have been
there
like,
was some magazines and stuff like that.
But he's also a 40-year-old man. So, I mean, like having pornographic materials isn't essentially wrong.
No, I mean, it was some strange shit that he had too.
The family ones.
Nudist
family
stuff.
Well, I mean, but
weird,
is that weird? Does that make somebody? I mean, he could
but
just
that's
be
the whole
weird.
thing.
He could have
just
weird
because
kinks. I don't know.
No, but just because you're weird, does that mean you're a predator?
I don't know. It's all this stuff, right? It makes it so complicated to really.
But ultimately, I mean, we're not here to decide.
No,
we're not
not
trying to prove his innocence or guilt.
No,
that's not what we're doing
we're
here.
Just
we're
kind
just
of
going
talking,
over the topics and
At least I am. I'm talking about how my own brain's kind of like thinking things and like
Yeah.
Then we went to deliberations.
Deliberations, yeah. They were longer than I thought. I couldn't remember. They went it was a couple of days, a week or something like that.
Perhaps the most interesting material in the documentary comes from former jurors. They reveal that deliberations lasted approximately 32 hours over 7 days. Jurors explain that they carefully examined every charge individually. Some describe emotional moments and the responsibility they felt. According to the documentary, several jurors concluded that the prosecution simply had not proven its case beyond a reasonable doubt. One juror says that the suspicion alone was not enough. Another explains that they could only base their decision on evidence, not public opinion. And this is a good point, too, because look, I mean, again, I'll just say my opinion, but I mean, we all know O.J. Simpson was guilty as shit for the crime he committed. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to.
No,
the defense was really good at creating reasonable doubt.
Well,
it happens.
There was a lot of reasonable doubt there. That's the
so
thing.
It happens.
Like Mark Furman,
right. So, but my point is,
crooked cop.
My point is, it happens. Michael Jackson was acquitted, but it doesn't mean he still couldn't be guilty. Just by public law, he is acquitted.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it happens. Guilty people do get acquitted.
Well, I mean, if there was, with the same logic of what happened to OJ, they would have been they should have been able to. They would have pulled out. Oh my God, we found a DNA sample in the bedroom. We found this or that.
Yeah.
They found nothing.
And that's a pretty, because again, like Michael Jackson clearly wasn't hiding anything based on his interviews and what he showed. So I mean, they would have found something, I would think,
who knows?
Or at least something they could twist at the very least to say that this. I mean, the magazines, yes, but I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so hard.
Well, it's just I mean, there's I don't know, yeah.
But here's a question: is not guilty the same as innocence? No.
I mean,
no. I think it's what we're trying to say this whole time. Like Michael Jackson clearly wasn't innocent of being
inappropriate,
with children and stuff.
Yeah.
for sure there was some weird stuff going on. That
No,
never should have
100%. I
happened.
mean, his whole life was,
Yeah,
his whole relationship with these children was inappropriate.
Of course.
Was
So-
it illegal?
yeah,
I don't know. But
exactly. So the fact that he's not guilty doesn't negate any of the other
no, like
wrongdoings.
just the fact that he's having sleepovers with these kids,
Yeah,
even
it's
if
so
they're
cool.
Yeah.
nothing nefarious is happening, it's still wildly inappropriate.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and the fact that people would let their kids go there and stuff is insane.
Yeah.
On it, like
Go there for the day, hang out, you know, enjoy
with your
the
child. Yes.
one thing, sleepovers and this and that. Like that's
That's
just
crazy.
Yeah.
beyond inappropriate.
Especially after 93. Like
Yes.
any parent
Well,
is
and
bringing
that-
their kid to
and
Neverland.
After 93, the fact that even whoever Michael, his handlers, whatever, would
Yeah.
even think that, hey, you know what, let's keep doing
Yeah.
this stuff.
They had no say.
That's what
Yeah.
I mean. Like, I don't think he had any real handlers. He had
No.
yes
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
No,
and I mean,
100%
but
he
he
did, yeah.
never,
Yeah.
the amount of money and power he had, he would never have proper handlers.
No,
he would
because
just find
again,
people
someone
and
say,
said, yeah.
hey, Mike, maybe we shouldn't do this anymore. You
Guess
know what?
You're fired.
It-
Yeah.
I'll get another stunt guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll find out. Hey, yeah, go ahead, do it. Yeah.
So on June 13th, 2005, Michael Jackson was acquitted on all 14 counts. The documentary shows footage of celebrations outside the courthouse. Fans cried, danced, and cheered. Thomas called it a victory for justice. Prosecutors expressed disappointment. Former jurors interviewed in the documentary insist they reached the correct verdict based solely on the evidence presented. One juror says they have never regretted their decision. And I get it because but see, this is the thing. These jurors did what jurors are supposed to do.
No, and that's the thing.
Same with the OJ jurors.
You have to go based on what's presented to
law.
you and what's presented to you. I mean, none of us, because there was
Right.
no, you know, none of us saw the
don't know the
trial
nitty-gritty.
because we don't know the nitty gritty. But yeah, they were saying based on the evidence or lack thereof, this is how we.
I mean, how many jurors after the OJ trial came out and were like, no, like we know he probably did this. We just couldn't.
no, and
convict
that's
him."
the
We
same
just
thing
didn't
too.
have-
Even with the OJ thing,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's
The
like, hey,
evidence.
do you disagree with?
Yeah.
But it's like no, but they did what they had to do. It's like, you know,
That's why-
there was a ton of evidence.
Yeah.
But was there doubt? Yes, because you had cops or detectives that said, yeah, I lied on the stand.
Yeah.
So it's like right there. It's like poof, that glove that is supposed to be the murderer's glove, it doesn't fit him.
No.
Do I think maybe he stretched his hand
Of
and blah, blah, blah?
course.
Whatever. I don't know, but it didn't fit his hand.
Yeah.
If it doesn't fit, it's not his glove.
You must have quit.
Yeah.
No, and that's
It's a hell of a
it doesn't
slogan.
have to be massive doubts, but there's doubts here
course.
that you know
Yeah.
you gotta do.
The documentary ends by acknowledging that the debate over Michael Jackson never truly ended. Michael died on June 25th. Oh, is it the 20? Oh, it's
Oh,
almost.
it's coming. Oh, it's actually coming up
Close.
soon. Yeah.
2009 at age 50. In 2019, HBO's Leaving Netherland reignited controversy with allegations from Wade Robson and James Safechuck. Supporters argue that Michael was repeatedly investigated and acquitted. Critics argue that the abuse cases are often difficult to prove and that acquitted does not necessarily settle every question. Michael Jackson, the verdict doesn't attempt to answer every question. Instead, it asks viewers to reconsider the evidence at trial and the responsibility of jurors in one of the most scrutinized cases in entertainment history. I have a couple of not questions, but just some stuff I'm going to ask you guys, and then
Yeah.
we'll kind of give our little much as we can in this complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, do you guys remember when the verdict was announced? Like, it's like, so think of like the OJ. Do you remember it like that? Like, do you remember?
No, I don't remember it being as big as that.
Or like,
No.
it was big, but I'm just
No,
saying you
but
didn't.
No, I
pay
don't
attention.
remember. Oh, well, no, I remember. I mean, you couldn't really miss it. It was all over the news and stuff, but I don't remember it being
Right.
as big a thing as the OJ.
The OJ case. Yeah.
Did you follow the trial at the time, or you just knew it was happening?
I knew it was happening. I mean, if it came on like the news, like there'd be little like snips about this and that, like when he stood on top of his car that made the news.
Yeah.
Like pieces
sort
like that, but I didn't follow it super closely.
I wasn't honestly back then, but I wasn't a huge Michael Jackson fan,
No.
so I wasn't super invested in paying attention to it. So
Yeah.
like you said, it would pop up in the news, and at that in '93 at my age, I was like,
This is kind of an interesting question. Can you separate the artist from the
Oof.
person?
that's I mean, and that's
But
That's the
there's
$1 million
so many,
question.
and not
You
just
know
for
what's-
him, but there's so many
But
different
you know
artists
what's
that like
funny though? Like this whole time we've been talking about this and watching the documentary, I never even thought once about how he was a superstar a pop star who had a bunch of music. Like it's weird. Like I knew he was, but like to me,
No, yeah,
I was just
but
sort of
that's I
looking
think that's
at
a $1
him.
million question for so many of these artists. I mean, look at just now, Mystical, the hip hop rapper. He's going to jail for 20 years for
is he?
rape and stuff
Oh
like
my
that.
God.
Shit.
So it's like,
They're normal
not that I'm
people.
a Mystical fan, but it's like, okay, so is that another artist that you can't listen to anymore?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They make bad decisions.
No, horrible decisions. Chris Brown,
Yeah.
just tons of these guys, like, you know. So yeah, can you separate the artist from the art? I guess that's up to each individual to decide.
I don't know. And, yeah.
I'm going to ask Eric this question first, and I'm going to ask Steve.
Okay.
And expand on it as much as you want. Do you think the jury made the right decision?
That's a good question. I think I guess, yeah, I think they did make the right decision because there wasn't, you're innocent before proven guilty, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the prosecution didn't do enough to say Michael Jackson was guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Well, and they just didn't have evidence, I think.
That's exactly it. There wasn't enough clear-cut evidence to show that Michael Jackson definitively did what he was accused of.
Okay, then I'm just going to ask you as well. Do you think that he did the stuff he was accused of?
I don't know if he did everything he was accused of. He probably did some stuff he was accused of. I think there's definitely too much smoke there for him to have not done anything. Mm-hmm. So I think he clearly stepped over the line, probably in some pretty big ways at some point in time. So I think he did some of the stuff that he was accused of.
Oh, I'm gonna ask you all the same questions. I just thought of another one. Do you think that that child's mother pressed those charges or made those accusations because she was worried about her kid, or there was monetary?
I think
this is just your opinion on it.
I think you can
have an opinion on it.
I think in my opinion, I think the mom wasn't pure in her intentions.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think it was 100% pure in her intentions.
That's fair. For whatever reasons why, we don't know. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my legs got sore. Does it change did that change your opinion on Michael Jackson? Do you still
honestly, when 2003 happened, it solidified kind of what I thought in 1993.
But did it stop you from enjoying him as an artist?
In some ways, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Do you think the jury got it right?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say because it's hard to say because I don't know. I had to go to like who made this documentary and stuff like that.
Right, but just what you know.
From what I know, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't really know, to be honest, but I think so. I mean, it's hard to say, but the problem is, I think with what Michael Jackson was accused of and what the narrative that the story was of what happened, it's impossible to prove it. Yeah. So I think I don't think the prosecution had a shot in hell of really proving this, because if you're trying to accuse Michael Jackson of grabbing kids and stuff, which is really what he was doing, there's zero way to prove that.
Does intent matter in these situations?
100%, yeah. But no, it doesn't actually. No, it's irrelevant completely.
Yeah, it is.
What?
No, I'm just agreeing.
Yeah, whether Michael Jackson thought he was doing something inappropriate or illegal, or we're just two boys experimenting, whatever, it's irrelevant.
You have responsibility as an adult.
The fact that he's disconnected from reality doesn't.
It's irrelevant. No, there is no. Yeah,
it's still as the adult. It's still his responsibility.
No, I mean the guy hung out with 10-year-olds. I mean, it's completely fucked. Really, like
no, it is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like it's not right at all. And he was just inviting. Whether he crossed lines all the time, so he was just inviting lawsuits and trouble.
He was
completely, like he wasn't a moron. It's a stupid way, Yeah, it's crazy.
Did that change your perception of him as an artist or whatever?
I mean, I don't know if especially after 93. I mean, everyone thought he was weird. I was still, so I mean, I'm sure it did, yeah. But I always thought I think everyone thought he was strange to begin with. So this was, again, it's just like, oh yeah, okay, this.
Yeah. It wasn't a shock.
No. I mean, the guy surrounded his life with kids.
And he made it public. He made it notable. It wasn't hiding it. It was like, again, that interview.
He built a fucking amusement park in his front yard. Yeah. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he wasn't trying to pretend that he was
normal.
I don't want to say normal, but you know what I mean? Yeah, he was not functioning as a regular adult.
No.
And I think that, again, like the overall message, at least that we want you guys as viewers to take away from this, is that, we're speaking about children. They're the victims 100%, whether it's this much, or this much.
They were victims of this from both sides, all sides.
They were let down by a lot of adults in their life.
Well, they should never have been put in a position with a man like that, especially after 93 when all this stuff came out. Those boys should never have been
Yeah.
there.
Doesn't excuse what Michael, may have done.
No, exactly.
But like, use your scruples, parents. Like, don't put your kids in danger.
No, and even like you said, Michael Jackson's people should have been like, hey, you should never be around
It's just
kids by yourself.
The common denominator is a lot of adults in that scenario let a lot of children down.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
And that's just what it is.
Okay, guys, before we wrap up, we got to answer the biggest question. Michael Jackson documentary, Netflix. Stream it or skip it?
I would say stream it. If you remember any of this, stream it. It gives a lot of good information. It really makes you think and it really makes you ponder. And it can spark really good conversation, good, bad, or ugly. I think it's a good one to watch.
I'm going to say stream it for sure, because I think this documentary does what a good documentary is supposed to do, which is leaves you with a lot of questions. It doesn't answer the questions for you. Like it showed both sides of the story, guilty and innocent, and left the viewer decide, like, what do you think happened, which is, for a documentary, it's exactly what it's supposed to do, so stream it.
It didn't feel biased.
No, it didn't feel biased. Like the Martin Bashir documentary felt very biased.
Yeah.
Not a great documentary in a lot of ways, but this one, it's good. Check it out.
Yeah, definitely stream it. If you're like Michael Jackson, you're not a Michael Jackson fan or whatever, you just like some true crime stuff, yes, stream it. Like Eric said, it does a good job. It just gives you the facts of what happened. Doesn't try and sway either way to whether they think Michael did or didn't do anything. That's sort of not what the point of the documentary is. It's just kind of reliving that 1993 trial and everything that happened there. So yeah, definitely check it out. It's worthwhile. Netflix, 3 episodes. Watch on a Saturday night. Good watch.
All right, guys, comment below. Let us know if you have seen it, what your thoughts are on it. And I'm just going to go out there and just say it. Do you think that Michael is actually innocent or guilty of those charges? Despite what the jury said, what do you think? However you base that to conclusion, we're curious to hear.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below.
Get a discussion going in the comments because we like that kind of stuff. But that's it for today's podcast. We thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will see you in the next one.
Take care, everybody.
Guys.
Bye, buddy.
Did you say bye, buddy?
I did. Bye, everybody.
Okay, time to go eat.
I'm going to say bye, everybody. If you want bye, buddy.